Guys, welcome to my channel Education and Masti. So today we are going to start with the last part, that is part 4 of our geography chapter of migration. So in this the topics we are going to deal with are: first, impact of migration; second, positive impacts; and third, negative impacts. So here first let me explain you about this thing what we are going to read. So first here the topics what I have told you is impact of migration. Then we will see the positive impacts, like what is the positive impact of migration, and under positive impacts of migration we will see positive impacts on the migrants destination country and migrants home country, and negative impact also we'll see on the migrants destination country and migrants home country. So now first let's start with the impact of migration. So here let's start with this topic. Migration can affect both the destination country and the home country of the migrating people in both positive and negative ways. So like as I have already told you that if you are moving from one place to another, that is called migration. Okay. So if we are migrating and we are leaving our country and going to any other destination country, then the home country of the migrating people as well as the destination country, both the destination country and the home country will be affected with that decision, and on the basis of that only this is divided into positive and negative impacts. Now let's see that. Guys, welcome to my channel Education and Masti. So today we are going to start with the last part, that is part 4 of our geography chapter of migration, and the topics we are going to deal with are: first, impact of migration; and second, positive impacts of migration; and third, negative impacts of migration. So here let me explain you first. Like positive impacts of migration we will see on migrants both home country as well as the destination country, and negative impacts also we will see on the basis of the home country as well as the destination country. Here let's see what it is being given. Migration can affect both the destination country and the home country of the migrating people in both positive and negative ways, as I have told you. So this migration can affect the home country as well as the destination country of the migrant in both positive and negative way. And you know, the person who migrates from one place to another place is called migrant. And let me tell you one fact about this migration, that on 18th December, okay, on 18th of December, we celebrate the International Migrant Day. 18th of December, we celebrate International Migrant Day. What do we celebrate? International Migrant Day. Okay. So this day is celebrated on 18th of December. So recently it has gone. So let's start with the topic positive impacts and negative impacts. Now positive impacts of migration. So as I've already told you that positive impacts of migration is both on destination country as well as the migrants home country. So first we will see the positive impacts on the destination country where the migrant have reached. So some of the positive socio-economic impacts on the destination country are: number 1, cheap labor; number 2, technical and skilled labor; number 3, cultural diversity. So these 3 points, let's study these 3 points in detail. So cheap labor. Many migrants are willing to happily take up unskilled jobs for a lower wage than is acceptable to the local people. Like if some migrants come to any other state or any other country, then they are happily to take up the unskilled job if they are not skilled in their job, but happily they take up that job so that they can learn it, and by earning that job they get some lower wage. So now the local people will demand more money. Like you might have also heard, like if I am building a house, okay, I will call the laborers of other state, okay, I will call the labor of other states so that they will build my building, okay, so that they will build my building. I will not call the local people. Why I will not call the local people? Because local people will demand more money. But if we call the people of another state, they will be working nicely and in a lower way. Means I will have to give them only less money, in that they will do the work. So that is what cheap labor. If I will appoint that work to the local laborers, they will ask more money. So that is what. Like many Indians, for example, work in countries like UAE and Saudi Arabia for lower wages. You know that many Pakistani in India, many Islamic people go to UAE and Saudi Arabia where they work and they get lower wages there. So that is our cheap labor one. And then second one is technical and skilled labor. So on the other hand, many migrants are highly skilled and talented in fields such as computer, technology, medicine, teaching, space data, etc. So now, like in India, there are many skilled people, okay? So they are talented, they are highly talented in the fields such as computer, technology, medicine, teaching, space data, etc. So that is what technical and skilled labor. Like many laborers or many people who are very skilled, they visit to USA and Britain every year to work there. Like many Indians go to NASA for working in space. As I've already told her that Kalpana Chawla, she was also the first woman to space, and she was an Indian woman. Then now Sunita Williams is also an Indian woman. So many Indian people for means that their dream should be completed, they go to NASA and they go to US and Britain. So that is what technical and skilled labor here means. Now the Silicon Valley in USA has more Indian and Chinese scientists and technicians than Americans. When you will go to America, you will understand that there are many Indians in America, many Indians. Why? Because of their working in Silicon Valley, NASA and other big industries. So that is what here it is meaning. Now cultural diversity. Immigrants bring their own rich and diverse culture and traditions when they arrive in a new country. Like in some areas or some parts of the world, now temples are also built. Hindu temples are built in some parts of the country. Why? Because many Indians have went there, and that what told the government. They protested government that they should make temples for them. That's why. So there was new culture and tradition released in those countries, and new food and cultures were also established in the country. When you will go there, they also know now idli, dosa and whatever this is because of the traditions. Now Indian restaurants are also opened in the world, so you can know about it what I am saying. Often the sharing of cultures, traditions and knowledge helps remove racism and discrimination. So what does this helps to remove racism and discrimination? German migrants to Canada have introduced their cuisine or food and religion Protestantism to Canada. So this Protestantism word, this is a word related to Christianity. Okay. Now, this was about the positive impacts on the destination country where the migrant have visited. As you can see this picture, by this picture you can understand how migration takes place. You can see as small children are also there, old men is also there, small children is also there, and men are also there, women are also there. So we can see this thing, how migration forces the people to move from an area, as we already read it about the push and pull factors. So now let's start with the this one, the positive impacts on the home country. Let's start with the migration that is impacted on the home country, the positive impacts. So migration has some positive impact for the home country too. Like here 3 points are there. Let's see that. When many people leave the country to work abroad, the scope for employment increases for those left behind. Like suppose here many Indians are there who leave the country and move to another country. So there is a scope of employment for those person who are living here. Like we say unemployment is there, unemployment is there. When these people only go to abroad areas, then they leave the scope of employment for the people who are still left here. Okay. When migrants return home, they bring back knowledge, skills and new ideas. With this, they start their own business, thereby providing job opportunities to the local people. Like when we come from any foreign areas or somewhere else, we learn more techniques and we become more skilled, and we have new ideas in our brain that forces us to open a business, new business, to start a new business or provide some job opportunities. Okay, this is what happens when we are coming back from any place. Now let's take an example. In Kerala, migrants returning home after having worked in the countries such as UAE and Saudi Arabia have begun their own business such as restaurants, schools, shopping malls, etc. So with this example, I can or we can understand about this point. Now third is migrants working abroad send money home to support their families. Yes, of course, if I am living in abroad, then I will send money to my family members or my any parents, so that I can support them and I can provide them with the better accommodations. So this money is called remittance. So remittance is a money, okay, remittance is a money which is sent by, what you can say, people who are far away from each other for different purposes, okay, which indirectly helps the government of the home country too. You know, according to the salary of your father or mother, the taxes are being paid by you. Like if your father or mother's salary is above 1 lakh, then you pay little more salary. And if it is less than 20,000, you don't pay any taxes. Okay. So accordingly, like if your mother or father is working in abroad and earning 2 lakh rupees monthly, then if he is or her is earning 2 lakh rupees, then he or she has to give that much taxes also. Like 2 lakh rupees is earning, then accordingly he or she will give the taxes also. So this taxes indirectly helps the family members also. This taxes indirectly helps the family members also. So now let's start up with the next topic, that is the negative impacts of migration. I hope you've understood this. Positive impacts on the home country as well as the destination country. Negative impacts of migration. So migration has also some serious negative impacts on the migrants as well as their destination countries. So migrants' home country as well as destination country, there are negative impacts. Okay. So first we will see the negative impacts on the destination country. So let's point it as 1, 2 and 3 and 4. Okay. So job loss. Many migrants entering a new country drop the job opportunities of the locals because they are willingly to work for a lower pay. Now, like job loss, like if I am entering any new world or any new country, then I will take that unskilled job in lower wage. Okay. Now what I am doing, I am robbing the job of the local people, because I am getting lower pay and the worker, like I am providing like anybody is giving me money, and money if he or she is giving to me, then they will give lower money, lower wage, and I will happily take up that lower wage as I am unskilled in that work. So now if they will pay to this local people will demand more money because they are skilled in that job. Okay, so therefore many migrants who enter a new country or state rob the job of the local people who are living there. So now let's see this one example. Many people in the US harbor a sense of resentment towards migrants from South Asia, Central and Latin America, because they believe the migrants have taken over their job. Now, like many Americans, you can take that they believe that many Southeast Asian countries like Pakistan, Israel and all those countries, and South Asian countries like Sri Lanka, India, Nepal, Bhutan, people, and Central and Latin America, that comes under South America, has taken over their job, as they believe that, because many places in India, in the world, they know that Indian people have occupied the higher posts like Google CEO, Microsoft CEO. So these are being occupied by the Indian people. So this US people sends us and they sense one resentment toward these people. They don't like these people because they have robbed the job of the local people who are there in America or any other country. Second is social and civic pressure. So social and civic pressures develop as migrants entering the new country put pressure on the existing infrastructure and health and educational facilities meant for the local people. Now if we are entering any new country or state or city, we are putting the pressure on the government, as we are destroying the resources, as we are not of the actual origin, but we are coming there, living there and destroying the resources which are provided to the local people of that area. Okay, the prices of such amenities shoot up, causing hardship to all. Now if more people come, what happens, the grocery items and all will be finished up fast, and this will all what happen, it will cause means like money will be increased, like money will be increased of some items, and this will also cause hardship to the people, the local people actually who are living there. Now third is immigration can fuel racism and discrimination. Like if you go to any country, and like racism and discrimination can happen if we are not of that country. People would sometimes not like or sometimes laugh upon the culture and tradition or the language which we are speaking or whatever dress or dresses we are wearing. Immigrants are often considered different because they speak a different language, dress differently, worship in another way, or have different sets of customs. This sense of difference leads to discrimination, and the local people oppose accepting the migrants as a part of the general community. So they oppose to accept the migrants as a part of their own community because they think that these people are different, as they speak different language and they wear different dresses, and their culture and tradition is totally different from where they are living. Okay, so that is about third point. Fourth point is that local traditions and cultures are greatly affected because of the introduction of new or alien cultures, traditions, and forms of worships. Like now, like you can know that if we go to a new country, we means we introduce our own local traditions and culture. So this local or tradition, new cultures, they act as the new or alien culture and tradition and forms of worship. Okay, like the introduction of these new cultures, new food will automatically deprive the local traditions or whatever local cultures the people are having. Suppose from America or from Britain one person came. Okay, now this pizza theory you understand. Like if this pizza came from Britain or America. Okay, it came from Britain or from Britishers only it came to us. Okay, from Britishers this pizza came to us. Let me tell you in detail. Okay, from this pizza came from Britishers only, you know that, because first they were only the one who means introduce new things in our country. So from British, now you know pizza has many openings like Pizza Hut, Domino's, and all these things are where we get pizzas. This is not our local tradition or our local cuisine. This is not our local cuisine. This is the alien cuisine. Why? Now local things we know, dal bati, litti choka, these are all the local things. But these are slowly they are vanishing, and this pizza, burger and all are taking the place of those vanishing local traditions, cuisines. So this only happens when immigrants come to new country. Okay, they bring with them new culture and tradition, and the local culture and tradition is getting affected because of this new or alien cultures and traditions and cuisines. Now let's take this example. Many people from West Asia and South Asia feel discriminated against in the West because of their dressing habits and religious practices. Like if we go to Britain and all those areas or USA, and there somebody like us or somebody like any one people who does not know English or does not know the language what is being spoken, everyone feels like to laugh on that person, and he or she feels discriminated because of that. Okay, so this is about the negative impacts on the home country, not the, sorry, the destination country of the migrants. Now we will see the negative impacts on the migrants' home country. So here three topics are given. First is loss of skilled labor. Second is business flourishing, and third is our psychological mind, which our mind makes us feel that we are loneliness. Okay, so by seeing this picture, what we understand, first topic we need to talk about the loneliness. Either it is at the last, but first we need to know about this loneliness, why this person is feeling lonely. You know about this, why he or she is feeling lonely, because no partner or no one else is there with him or her. Okay, so loneliness is a state when we feel lonely and we don't have anyone with us with whom we can share our feelings. So this only happens like the children who are left alone. Like there are some children whose parents are working outside the country, but that child is staying with his or her grandmother or grandfather. He or she is staying. Okay, but that child feels alone. He is felt that he is neglected. Okay, that only. So we will talk about this more. First, the main problem is about the loss of skilled labor. So this is a major disadvantage as young people who have the skill, knowledge and professional expertise leave their country to offer their services to another country. Like many people are there who are like what to say, very much skilled they are, but they leave their own country only. Why they leave their own country? Because they want to earn, like they want to achieve more dreams or they want to earn more money, so they give their services to another country. Okay, so that is what the loss of skilled labor. Second is that business flourishes when the markets are bigger and have more buyers. Like if any country or state, if buyers are only not left, then how will the markets flourish? How will the business flourish? A growing and healthy population often provides the required market with economic growth and development. But when young people leave, population stalls and demand for some goods and service falls. Okay, like when we, the young people who are buying some things or we are working on a business, if we will leave our own country, then how will the stalls, how will the business flourish, how will markets go on? If there are no business, if there are no buyers, then how will the business will flourish? Okay, that is the main thing. Third is a major socio-economic impact of migration is the toll this takes on family life. Family life is greatly affected by this impact. Okay, young parents leave their children and other dependents such as the elderly behind, as I've already told it. As a result, the children and the elders are left behind often have deep psychological scars. Now, moreover, in the absence of their parents, the children are exposed to various social voices and feel the absence of love and care. The elderly too feel left out and neglected. As you can see, this image just shows you about how we are presently living. Loneliness is the main thing. Like we want to earn more wage, we want to earn more wage, we want to achieve our dreams, whatever it is. Okay, so for this we leave our family back, we leave grandparents, we leave our children back. So this is not a good thing. Okay, this is